Pastor Sid, kamusta?
Eto, mabuting-mabuti dahil sa siyempre kasama kita, eh.
Maraming salamat po for letting me invite you and become a guest to this podcast.
Yeah.
I know that um marami kang ginagawa, you're busy, you're a busy man, and marami nangyayari on a day-to-day basis. Pero maraming salamat po for giving me this
Yeah, welcome.
opportunity to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
So, for everyone, I just want to do a quick intro. I know I'm bad with doing intros, uh, pero Pastor Sid is a Christian pastor, which is my first ever mentor in music,
Yo.
and is an all around good guy. Kumbaga, I remember starting out at a very young age, around 9 or 10, and he was already there. He's the first guy to teach me music, and kumbaga, kung ano yung meron ako in music right now, it all came from him. So kumbaga, it's an honor for me to be
Wow.
for you to be here in this podcast, Pastor Sid.
Yeah, thank you. At, buti naman maganda yung naging outcome ng, pagiging mentor mo.
Yeah, and
Ah,
sobrang I remember leading to this episode, I was doing a little bit of research kasi I know all the songs. A lot of people, I'm pretty sure all know your songs. Pero I want to talk about muna yung sa mga songwriting mo. I was inspired, and I grew up listening to Biba, Sigaw ng Uhaw, Occupied. Yung Ikaw na nga, actually,
the
yeah,
new one, yeah, that's the
yeah,
new
yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah. It's the newest one. It was written a couple of years pa before it
Back,
was
yeah.
released. Yeah. So let's talk about yung sa music career mo. So paano ka ba nagsimula, Pastor, sa music?
Okay, siguro, just like other stories ng meron yung mga ibang tao din, you really fell in love, 'no? Imposible kasi that, na hindi nag-start sa gano'n, 'no? But, nakakatuwa nito, everybody knows na dancing yung unang-una kong dancing yung una ko, which is, related pa rin na music until such time na parang na-develop siya na into, instrument, na-curious ako sa instruments kaya especially sa mga barkadahan, kaibigan. Parang usual din time na yun na parang kantyawan 'pag hindi ka marunong, mag-guitar or hindi ka ano ba, mga kantang walang alam sa mga song hits, mga ganyan. Okay,
Mm.
nabutan niyo ba yun? Mga gano'n. So yun hanggang sa nag-grow yun. But, it became, really a passion dahil yun para bang meron ding nag-share sa akin, eh, 'no. That's the reason why na, as you've known na talagang nashi-share ko siya o yung passion ko to share it since ano pa ba yun, sabi mo nga 9, 10 years old ka pa lang many years back. So para bang meron rin gumawa sa akin nun, eh. So until then, so sabi ko nga na I will do this, 'no. So probably for the rest of my life, to share yun din kasi nakita ko yung ano, eh, personally sa akin yung nagdudulot nito, at, nagagawa nito sa akin, 'di ba? Para bang really love to share, kung ano man yung tutunan. No, which is alam natin before 'pag napag-aralan mo, nasipra mo, para bang bahala ka sa buhay mo na ikaw ang gumawa ng paraan para makuha mo yan. Pero I think that's it, 'no, para bang yun yung naging start ko, loving it and then never stop doing it until now.
Okay. So let's backtrack a bit kasi you mentioned about like sharing yung mga knowledge and learnings mo about
Mm,
music, and a lot of people knows what G3 is.
yeah.
Pero let's dive deep. Paano
Mm,
ba nagsimula, Pastor Sid, ang G3? Paano ba siya nag-originate?
mm. So year 2001, 2002, I think meron ng mga glimpse of those things, eh, na para bang we love teaching, we love doing it. Lalo especially sa part na, we've been handling groups na 'di ba, yung teams na into music, also in church. Para bang ang hirap nung ikaw lang yung nakaka-catch, 'no? Pero way back nung years before nung natatag yun, ako din in big trouble din when it comes to knowledge about music, 'no? Isang matindi pa nga nun, I audition sa isang, international choir which is called His Sounds, 'no. So sabi ko, yung parents ko, sila mama at papa, sila nag-encourage sa'kin. Sabi niya, "Sali sali mo yung nalaman niya isang kaibigan dentista nila, sali mo yung anak mo mahilig ba sa music." So sumali ako not knowing, 'no, na mga professionals pala yung mga nandun. I think one of those, people na nandun mga, composer nila Regine,
Hmm.
composer ng mga commercials like, Great Taste, ganyan. Ano pa ba? Some of them are teachers ng ALEM, ng Phoebias, and a lot of schools, Trinity College, and yan. Mga music schools talaga, mga music teachers talaga. So, nung dumating ako doon, I was thinking, sabi ko, nako, ito yung parang start. Pero in the long run, parang more pa ako na discourage kasi nga, note reading eh. Parang I was there na talagang wala, talagang, wido lang. I can still remember, Tuesday and Thursday ang aming rehearsals lagi sa Cubao yun. From Los Baños pa ako luluwas ako dun. I will stay there for 3 days. So, Wednesday, I have to make sipra lahat nung ano yung notes to hindi pa ako sure kung yun na, pero parang sabi ko parang ito yung narinig ko. So, parang sinu-survive ko lagi yung Tuesday and Thursday na yun. At ang matindi nun parang ano, talagang malupit yung event. I think we had one event nga with the, death anniversary ni Restituto Tan, yung may-ari ng Rustans, and
Mhm.
mga other gigs din ng mga guest nun, mga Marcoses, mga Ayala, mga gano'n. So, parang nag-hit sa akin na teka lang, sabi ko parang kung gagawin ko 'to, I think lalo nung magkakaroon ng international parang tour, all the states of America. So, parang nakita ko yung sarili ko, sabi ko, "Teka," sabi ko, "parang nakakahiya baka biglang tanungin ako dun." So, parang nag-ano ako nun, move back ako. Hindi ako nag-decide sumama sa Amerika or parang sa tour na yun. Pero pasado na ako. May audition kasi yun, eh, lahat, eh. Many months yung bago yung final. So, sabi ko uwi ako, mag-aral ako. So, there I found out about this, isang, who's a papuri singer, si Kuya
Mhm.
Raul Antican. So, sabi niya, I mean hindi niya ako kilala, so nag-offer siya ng help to teach music. So, sabi ko ito na yung pagkakataon. So, I went to him. Actually mga 4 hanggang 5 years sinandal niya ako. Pero I mean, different scenario, pero yung point ba na I was there na parang knowing na akala nila na galing ako sa international group. Pagdating ko dun "Uy, galing ka palang Hisan." So, when I was there parang eto na agad, eh, parang expectation, yung yung expectation and reality. Hindi nila nakita yung reality, but the expectation was parang, "Sige, nakantakan na palang ito, piyesa agad." Kaya pagdating ko dun para bang wala ng baby step, alam mo yun?
Hmm.
Kaya ano, I was really questioning that time. Sabi ko, "Teka, gusto kong mag-aral pero bakit ang hirap?" So, I've learned a lot kasi I have teachers there, solfege, tapos iba pa mga music, subjects. Pero yung bang parang I really started yung baby talaga, parang yun yung gusto ko sana, eh. Dun ako hirap, eh. Pero I don't know, I was entrusted with that hanggang sa pinatutugtog niya rin ako, tapos going to different events na rin, and mostly that time kundiman yung matinding ano niya. So yun ang mga piyesa ko nun, mga kundiman. Imagine that, na talagang mahihirap. So until such time na yung yun nga na nag-graduate ako sa kanya, ang pinakamatinding na catch ko pala sa kanya was that di lang yung knowledge, eh, but the biggest thing is yung heart niya. So, I've been with him for 4 or 5 years na tsinaga niya ako, alam mo yun? And that's it. So dun na nag-start yung heart ng G3. Yun yung pinagmulan nun, and then sabi ko, I would do this, 'no. I love to do this, yung ginagawa ni Kuya Raul noon. I think he passed away 2, 3 years ago.
Mhm.
Nagkaroon ako ng kanyang, tribute sa kanya. But he's the one who shared me that, na parang, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this." So, kaya when going out to G3, it was not hard. No, it was just not hard sa akin. Kasi nga, and knowing na nang tayo na, di ba, alam natin, medyo namulat na tayo sa teaching community and also doing it as a job, parang ganun. Alam natin malaki ang income nun. Pero we really don't care kung may income mo wala. But to see people talaga in our communities, alam mo yan, sa division natin, pag mga idaran ninyo, imposibleng hindi nag-G3 yan. At lahat ng marunong na mga instruments hanggang sa mga karatig na subdivision, for sure, nanggaling yan sa G3. And hanggang until now, pag meron pa rin nagchat-chat sa akin, kami po yung pinuntahan ninyo, yun yung ano tayo na para bang kahit ano man yung effort na ginawa natin, parang bayad na wala na tayong, wala nang utang doon. Kasi nga, you love doing it. So, think din yung pinaka, nung nag-come up na yun, no, yung G3. So, siguro alam mo yun, yung history nun from God Gave Gifts pa lang, naging G3 yun nung ika-third year niya. Kasi nga, G3. So, nasasabi niya, dahil nga yung mga, sino mga lead guitarist, sino yung mga magagaling na guitarist.
Oh, yeah.
Akala nila, yun pala yun, di ba? So, hindi, yun yung nangyari doon. So, I think yun yung pinaka-history nung G3.
Yeah, and I can attest na I think na pumasok ako around yung second year, third year.
Oh, batch ko ba yun?
Oh, yeah,
Ayun
batch
yung
ko
ano,
ata
yung
yun.
naka-V na ano.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yun.
tama, second year yun.
And second year, and I think third or fourth year nung nag-start ako magturo sa G3. No? Yeah, kasi it really gave me a lot. Kumbaga, access to music, access to education na if nung panahon na yon, if you're going to sum it all up, it would take thousands.
Yeah.
Kasi yung mga teachers nung just to let everyone know, yung mga teachers ng G3 up until now are actually professional musicians that actually studied music. Kumbaga, there was a point in time na nag-aral din ako ng music.
Magkaklase tayo nun.
Oh, yeah. Nagkaklase tayo sa music school.
Na-open yun.
And then, naghiwalay din ako ng music school. Tapos, nag-aral din ako separately. Kumbaga, sobrang laking naging extension ng musical career ko. And then, yung identity ko, yung G3. To a point na right now, I'm playing with different bands. And sa'yo rin, Pastor, ang dami ng dumaan ng mga musicians sa'yo that are on the peak of their career right now.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, and I can attest na musicians that came from G3 or even churches are really great musicians.
Yeah.
Kumbaga, yun nga parang nagulat din ako si Epi. Magkakilala pala kayo ni Epi.
Oo, si Epi.
Tapos, sila B-boy before, and then a lot more. I remember I have a student kasi di ba nag G3 din tayo sa may Santa Rosa. Tapos I remember having a student na nagsisimula pala mag-bass, nung tinuruan ko siya. Tapos parang a couple of years back, like 4 to 5 years, nag-chat siya sa akin, sabi niya na, "Sir, gusto ko lang i-share na magse-session ako for Greyhounds."
Wow.
Kumbaga parang sa akin, wow. Sabi ko, di ba nag-start ka alam mo yun, sinimulan natin na foundation, na hirap ka pang tumugtog. Tapos ngayon, you're sessioning for Greyhounds.
Grabe, no?
Ganun yung power of sharing your knowledge. Kumbaga, that's why I'm really eager to talk about G3 kasi that's my roots kumbaga. That's a lot of people's roots. And nagugulat din ako, marami ring mga tao na pag nalalaman na galing kang G3 or nagturo ko sa G3, ganun agad yung level. Kasi remember may nag-chat sa akin, barkada rin yon. Sabi, wala, kasama mo pala sila sila Pastor Sid, G3 ka pala. Sabi niyan. Oo.
Ba sila niya, taga San Pedro.
Oh, yeah. Nakalimutan ko lang pangalan pare kasi sa Facebook kasi iba pangalan niya eh. Plus a lot more people na kumbaga parang pag nakikita na lately, 'di ba, kumain tayo sa may around Carmona tapos pinost ko yung picture. So yung mga nag-chat sa akin na, "Uy, anong connection mo kay Pastor Sid tsaka kay Ate Esther?" Sabi ko, ko yan mentor ko yan eh. Sabi ko, di nag-G3 ka rin. Nagturo din ako sa G3. Sabi ko, ay grabe. Yung pala yung, ano, mo, yung upbringing mo. So, kumbaga, sobrang laking tulong niya
Yeah.
when it comes to musicians like me, artists like me, na nung panahon na yun, wala talagang, what do you call this? Para bang, may YouTube na, pero you can't really rely on YouTube
Yeah.
back then. So, yung question ko pala dun, Pastor, is, comparing it to now, with G3 from before and now, ano sa tingin mo yung para bang biggest advantage ng having social media and then having G3? And ano rin yung sa tingin mo parang disadvantage with that?
Okay. I think that is one of the questions na talagang usually tinatanong din sa amin. Doon muna tayo sa advantage, no? For me, as kumbaga matagal na rin sa teaching at the same time sa ministry, siguro malaking tulong talaga kasi you have those tools na to share at the same time maging ano ba, madagdagan. Okay. So hindi ko siya kunyari pag ako when I do cover songs, 'di ba? Malaking help sa akin 'yun na meron na nakukuhanan akong sources regarding kung ano man yung anong klase or even sa pagtuturo. Pero hindi tayo nagbabase doon. Na which is I think it's more advantage dun sa matagal na kunyari sa industry. I don't think na ano na parang though syempre search mo rin talaga kung gaano ka lalim yung maaring tinuturo o yung papaano niya ginawa, no? At maaring may ibang way, 'di ba? Parang ibang way. Naalala ko kasi parang yung sa math natin, sa math teacher na Sir Benji, yung sabi niya, sabi niya, sabi niya doon sige, pag nasagot niyo ito ng hindi para kahit hindi ka pareho nung formula ko pero sagot niyo pareho, sige na. Ano na kayo, absuelto na kayo sa buong SEM, no? Parang ganun yung point ko pag na-catch naman ay palabas na ganun yung way na dapat, no? Kunyari sa certain music day o sa something teaching about it. So tingin ko effective naman din yun. So again, it will be advantage, no? Now for the new generation, iba kasi pa rin talaga yung merong nagturo no? Hindi to bias in a way na para bang ano dahil kasi nagtuturo tayo dahil meron tayong magaling. Hindi malaki pa rin kasi na-experience ko na pinanood, na-experience ko rin na may nagturo sa akin. And I could see the big difference ng talagang merong nagtuturo sa atin, no. Advantage depende talaga sa tao. And kadalasan kasi naman yung iba walang time na talaga to study or pumunta sa isang music school or something like that. Kaya nagiging advantage talaga sa kanila. So, yeah, it's true. There's an advantage and disadvantage. So, sa akin, it would be an advantage. Pero I would not rely dun sa part. I think I would just get something, no? I think just like yung nangyari sa akin when we teach music and until now, pag sa iba't ibang lugar, parang yun yung luxury lang no kasi napanood ko to, ninatinan kong seminar ito, napag-aralan ko ito. So tas gumawa na ako ng sarili kong of how to teach it. So nagiging talagang advantage sa akin yung mga yon. And ang parang sigurong problem part na lang doon siguro yung iba mas marami yung copy paste no? Yung parang kinopya na lang sobra, wala nang I think hindi na lumabas yung pag original nila. So I think ibang usapan na yun sa parang yes, it will be now a disadvantage para sa iyo. Kasi lalo sa lawak na no, iba kasi yung talagang ikaw tinuklas mo pinag-aralan. Ngayon, if you'll be the one teaching that or doing that, alam mo na galing doon sa pinag-aralan mo. Pag nakita, pareho lang rin ng ginawa niyang ganito yun. Parang nagiging parang alam mo may tawag dun 'di ba na parang yung ginagaya mo, parang copy-paste mo lang talaga. So, I think that's it. So, depende talaga sa tao. So, for me, it's an advantage. Lalo ngayon malawak na 'di ba? You can just a click away nandiyan na 'yun. So, talagang I think ang isang naging disadvantage gano'n nagiging tamad yung mga musicians ngayon and mga artists na madali lang, 'di ba? Parang gano'n. Ito yan kasi ganyan So available na parang dumating sa point na wala. wala ka ng way. You know Kuya Jermaine, 'di ba? Si Kuya
Yeah, yeah.
Jermaine, kahit lalo 'pag sa bahay, mayayamot ka dahil hanggang madaling araw naglilid yun, pero kita mo naman yung naging outcome sa kanya. He's been reading books din, I think recently lang yun sa time nang nag-start sa music, yung manood So wala pa yun Pero siya talaga more on mga books, ganyan. So nakita ko rin yung advantage at disadvantages sa kanya.
And I can, siguro for me rin, I can attest that, the knowledge right now is big. Kumbaga, there's a lot of opportunity to learn. Pero yun nga yung idea nun eh. The more things are readily available, the more choosy people become. Kasi dahil nga ang daming options eh. Compared to like before na before it's either you pay how much, like thousands, or you attend seminars and alam mo yun, i-grasp mo yung opportunity na yun. And I think, and we came up with the idea na, let's attend seminars, let's ask people, and kumbaga, the community naman kasi, what I like about our community is, hindi tayo, alam mo yun, hindi tayo madamot to share. It started out with sharing, and kumbaga, if you ask something, you'll get your answers, kumbaga. And I can agree then with the idea of having a mentor. Kasi everything is readily available, but yung touch ba ng mentor to correct you in a way na para mas maging better yung mapoproduce mong sound, let's say for music. Kasi remember, ito lang, kwento ko lang just for everyone to know, every afternoon napunta ako sa bahay ni Pastor Sid. Yung panahon na nag-aaral ako mag-gitara noon.
Walang patid yun.
Oo. Ano yun, nag-aaral ako mag-gitara. Kasi I remember, nag-drums ako tapos nag-aral ako mag-bass. Gusto ko mag-aral ng bass. So, alam ko, you mentioned na bago ko mag-aral ng bass, mag-aral ko muna mag-gitara kasi mas magiging madali yun. So, every afternoon, nag-out ako ng around 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Napunta ako sa bahay ni Pastor Sid ng around 4 o'clock to 4:45.
Tapos aalis ako.
So, turuturuan niya lang ako mag-gitara. Ito, alam mo itong chords na to. Alam mo itong mga ganyan. Tapos, alam ko, meron ko pa makapal na songbook noon. Yung pinaprint mo. Di ko pinaprint ba yun? Compilation ng mga songs.
Compilation,
Oo, tapos sabi ko, sige, aralin ko to. Tapos, umalis ka.
Susundo.
Susundo.
Anong suhol ko nun? Iwanan kita ng pagkain.
Kaya diyan ka lang iwan lang kita ng practice mo lang yan para mamaya practice na tayo diretso. And it panned out. Kumbaga ngayon, I can say na I don't have the greatest skills, pero kumbaga parang kaya ko sumabay. Kumbaga I know how to magpatunog ng malinis compared to like it's not a bad thing kumbaga with people learning how to play guitar right now through YouTube. Kumbaga you can copy the hand signature or the hand gesture kung ano yung mga kailangan mong ipindutin dun sa fretboard, pero there's always a magical touch when you're in front of a person to guide you. Kasi doon ko nalaman yung hirap-nirap ako dahil sa B na parang bombo. Sabi ko, ito, gawin mo, B. Okay. Tapos yung E. Ito, gawin mo, E. Tapos alam ko, pinaka-signature na A na pala hanggang ngayon ginagamit ko pa rin. Yung A, nakaganyan. Sabi ko, dito mo gawin. Oo nga, pwede pala yun,
So, daya pala yung tinuro ko sa inyo lahat.
Hindi, pero it works It's the same Kumbaga parang...
Anong history nun? Alam ba anong history nun? Way back mga year 1990s, late 1999 parang ganyan. So I was playing sa isang church. Ang problem, ako rin yung singer. So it was hard for me na, alam mo yon. The truth is, kahit sila, Kuya Monel, sila Kuya Jermaine, ang galing nila pagdating sa mga theory, ganyan. Alam nila yan, ito, ganyan. Pero ako noon, wala. Talagang, sa'yo, talagang, hindi ko alam yung chords na yun. Parang gano'n. Pero alam ko tumunog kasi nga, mom, dad ko, sila yung teacher ko. Kaya batang-bata pa lang, grade 4, na nagigitara na ako. So, noon sabi ko kailangan kong maaral yung pinakamadali. Natutunog naman na na ganung tunog, no? Not knowingly na yung pala, in the future, malalaman ko, ba tama pala yun? Pwede pala yun? I don't know. I really don't know. Kaya sabi ko, ito rin tuturo ko pag meron ako tinuruan.
Kaya hanggang ngayon, dala-dala ko yun, yung signature A na yun. Kaya alam ko, may gig ako like a few years ago. Tapos nagtanong siya, ang ganda tumunog ng A mo.
Ayun na yun.
Meron ng A chord. Sabi, paano mo ginagawa? Ito man, ito lang
Ito,
yun.
dinaya lang yun.
Pareho lang naman tunog eh. Sabi ko, mas open lang siya tumunog. Pero it's the same. Kumbaga, the idea is that wala naman problem on how you do it or kung ano ba yung journey mo on how you learned it, as long as you're doing the same thing. You're getting the same results. And I think that's the same with music kasi kumbaga with music kasi regardless if you learn via YouTube or if you learn via music school or if you have a mentor, as long as you get the same response or the same answer over and over again, then okay lang din yun. Wala naman siyang problem. Now, let's talk about your songwriting. So that was occupied by Pastor Sidney Herrera.
Woo.
Grabe. Alam mo bakit favorite ko yung Pastor?
Bakit? Kala ko sa
dalawa kasi
ni Ron eh.
dalawa lang yung chords, no?
Nung ginagawa ko sabi ko, I think yung song na dalawang akorde, ewan ko kung tanda mo yun sa Papuri, something like 17 yan. Kalimutan ko na. So sabi ko, I wanted to create a song din na parang dalawang akorde lang. So yun nga yun. That we had talagang, I think mga 3 versions. Siguro ano ka na ng ibang versions niya, di ba? Medyo
I believe
rock na ganun.
I believe ano yun eh, isa yun sa mga unang songs na pinlay ko sa'yo na
Okay.
original. Tapos ang alam ko nagre-rehearse tayo noon sa church kasi may event tayo sa I believe BY ata yun or other churches. Tapos na guest ka as performer. Tapos ang sabi ko, practice tayo. Tapos sabi ko, tugtugin natin yung mga kanta mo. Siyempre kinakabahan ako kasi una, halos nagsisimula pa lang ako mag-bass. Kumbaga hindi pa ako ganun ka-solid. Tapos hindi ko alam yung mga kanta mo kasi it sounds very, alam mo yun, parang very intricate, very intimidating if you listen to it. Kumbaga, as a beginner, sabi ko, teka lang, baka mamaya magkamali ako. Tapos sinuro mo sa akin, pinakita mo sa akin yung sa gitara.
How to play that.
Paano siya tutugtugin.
Ang
Sabi ko, yun lang pala yun. Tapos yun na yun, buong kanta
mas mahirap pa sa bass actually siya, di ba?
Oo, mas mahirap siya sa bass. Sa gitara, dalawa lang. Ulit-ulit. Tapos sa bass, kailangan mo lang magbilang. Okay, sige, talaga yun. Tapos, I remember, tama yung sinabi mo, nakailang versions pa yun eh. Nagkaroon ng rock, parang nagkaroon ng literal na ballad na version. So, paano ba how's your songwriting process? Specifically dito sa Occupied, how did it start? Paano ka ba nag-start magsulat, Pastor? Do you start with words or the music or a theme?
Okay. Dahil, kasi ako, dahil ang frustration talaga is gusto ko matuto talagang piano. So, pero guitar yung talagang mas know-how ako. So, parang medyo limited ako. Kaya siguro naging process ko was the melody first, no? The melody, no? Kasi parang if I'll start with the melody, I would know already kung okay ba siya o hindi, no? Kasi as a composers writer, kailangan meron kang gauge ng to know talagang or parang ano ba tawag dito? Meron kang instrument to know kung this will be good or bad, no? Yun yung pinaka number 1 na meron dapat isang writer. Ikaw nakikinig ka ng different music, you would can easily separate ito okay to, ito hindi. Tama, di ba? That's one thing, and every composers kailangan yon na para bang mag-work sa kanya yon na yun yung kanyang sukatan, ito okay hindi. So okay na. And then I'll go first with the melody. So those sa mga lahat ng seminars I've been teaching also sa ina-attendan ko, a lot of great composers din. Wala namang ano, talagang tamang, I mean, ito talaga dapat to ganyan. So with others, probably they would start, and I really envy them na yung nagsusulat lang pero walang melodies, 'di ba?
Mm.
Bago na ilalapat. So, may mga gano'n. I really want to do songs. I think I have some pero hindi siya yung gano'ng kadali katulad ng if I would start with the melody. So I would start with the melody. Sometimes depends dun sa mood or ko din, no? When I say mood then it's dun sa kunyari sa nabasa ko na something that really encouraged me, no, dictate ko ano yung naging feelings ko about that, no. Then I will write dun. So meron din akong dapat team which is yung paminsan napakalawak, no. Nag-start ako dun, who's one of a great composer din, secular and Christian din, si Kuya Paul Armisen yung tumulong sa akin dun. Na laki ng natulong niya sa akin kasi nga, really think about dun sa magiging lyrics, no. Kasi maraming songs that been created talagang ganda ng tunog pero yung laman ng lyrics, talagang walang kwento, walang kwenta. Yun yung actually those words are the words na narinig ko. Sabi niya, "Kung walang kwento, walang kwenta yan." So yun ang sinasabi sa akin, 'no. Kasi remember yung song na yun which is yung Saksi nga, sabi niya, "Ay parang parang hindi okey 'tong stanza, hindi rin 'to okey 'tong second stanza." Hanggang dumating sa point pati chorus, pati bridge, palitan mo na kaya lahat. So parang and I was really crying dun sa moment na yun habang pinapanta ko, hindi ko alam talaga yung hindi ko alam talaga kung anong gagawin ko but that I was saying lahat kasi nga kailangan yun yung second is the laman, no. And I always do yung ano, yung lot of writings and erasing, editing. So ang ginagawa ko is that to really put everything that I know sa isang team na yun. Kunyari kung love, everything that I know, and then on another part is that research about it. So para mas maging wide siya. And then I'll edit and erase, rewrite siya ng rewrite hanggang sa mag-come up siya kung ito yun, 'no. Siguro isang writer naman na lodi ko rin si Kuya Romel Guibarra that, everybody
Hmm.
knows. Ang gusto ko
Yeah.
naman sa kanya, it doesn't have to be too long. So kung nakikita mo yung mga songs ko, 'di ba, short, parang sila yung may mga big contribution sa akin, eh. So doesn't be too long basta nandun yung thought na makukumpleto na siya. Minsan bitin lang kailangan mong lagyan nito, pero still dapat, complete siya. So, I think the another part for sa songwriting ko malaking part din sa'kin yung band kasi sa contribution na ibibigay kasi it will add more colors sa 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 kanta, and then baka meron silang alam na magandang ano dahil kasi some of our band members have different influences, 'di ba? So
Mm.
parang mai-incorporate nila dun sa songs. I would say naman na okay siya, sasabihin ko rin 'pag hindi, which alam mo naman daw nagsasabi ng hindi pero hindi nila nilalagay. Nahihiya ako magsabi ng hindi, eh. So I think din yung isang malaking part na bubuhayin niya yung song na yun. But if you know my songs, usually talagang, and everybody was saying that, which is intentionally ginagawa ko, parang lagi siyang pang-band talaga. Never
Mm.
intended para sa alam mo yung gano'n, but parang lagi siyang automatically pang-band, 'no. So when I wrote yung Sigaw ng Uhaw, pati drums nun, 'no, alam ko kung saan, pati yung stop nun, 'di ba? So, yun gano'n ako, para bang siyang parang I'm already creating yung movies, yung kabuuan nung
Mm.
songs na yun, bago pa, alam mo yun, if, especially if gonna hear that dun sa bandmates mo na ito ganito, okay sabi ko tama ganyan yung gusto kong mangyari. So, and then yun, revision ng revision na lang din siguro until such thing na yun ma-create nga yung awitin na yun. So, starting from melody and then it will grow more sa gano'ng mga bagay.
Yun. So, can you talk about, Pastor, a time where hindi ka talaga makatapos ng kanta? Meron ka ba, dumating ka ba
Oo.
sa point na as in hindi mo talaga siya matapos?
Wag Mapagod was the
Oh
one.
yeah,
Di ba?
yeah. Oo nga, oo nga.
Before pandemic, the longest talaga, no, it was the 2018, 19 yata. when I got the melody melody pa lang nung pinaka chorus part niya. And then we were teaching in Molino, Cavite. So dahil ganda, may kanya-kanya room. So sabi ko, tatapusin ko na to. Biro mo, inabot, lang, yung mismo, yung chorus lang, no? And then, after pandemic, we'll have our recording nung song na yun. Na para bang nung band, sabi, ito na yung labas natin, no? Ang problema, wala pa akong stanza. So, a few hours before, at least an hour before ng recording meron mga tumatakbo sa isip ko, pero hindi siya final. So, I have to, kaya, kung makikita mo yung aming recorded na version 2, ginagawa natin na live na though recorded din. Merong part na magkaiba lyrics talaga.
Kasi hindi pa nga pala siya tapos, no?
Oo, kaya nung magkaroon ako ng sabi ko, tapusin ko na to. Sabi ko, pagdating sa live, kahit na hindi naman yun. That's it. That's the one song na talagang inip ako doon. Grabe talaga inip ko doon. Alam mo yung gusto mo na alam mo, eto, nako. No, kaya naman nung tinugtog namin, song-sawa tayo dahil sa lahat, request sa lahat.
Tanda ko na nag-live recording tayo noon. I
For
think
two events yan. Two
events. Sabi ko, ba't parang iba yung lyrics to mga nung Duwag Mapago?
The pala, di ba? Bridge part na gano'n.
Oo, sabi ko, nga pala, di pa nga pala tapos to. Pero kasi alam ko narinig na ng mga churches ng mga yun yung Huwag Mapagod. Wala na, nire-request na. Sabi ko, sigurado ba? Sige, tutugtog lang naman ako.
Pag nakailang basta tutugtog ka.
Tutugtog lang ako Tugtugin na lang natin yan.
That's it. Yun yung song na yun talagang pinahirapan ako doon. And it turns out great naman talaga. Okay naman.
Yeah.
A lot of people maganda yung comment nila about it.
Yeah, and I remember nung tinugtog din natin yun sa may Morales, sa may Binyan, I forgot the church, I'm sorry. Sa may malapit sa pavilion, kila Pastor Ken ba yun? Sorry. Yeah. Biyaya ng Diyos. Parang sinabi ata ni King nun, parang grabe nung ganda nung sa Magpapagod. Tara mo kay Pastor yung lyrics.
Talaga nakakapagod literally tugtog.
Nakakapagod siya tugtugin.
Pag iba bandang kasama yan, wala kayo, iba sa ibang lugar, no? Lagi lang sasabi yung grabe. Ano naramdaman mo sa kantang yan? Pagod ka.
Napagod ka sa
Oo, kasi talaga nakakapagod tong kantang.
Pero ang dami, so mga listeners, if you guys have time, you should listen to Pastor Sydney Herrera on Spotify. Actually, ano pa lang to, yung mga songs na nandun niya, yung Sigaw ng Uhaw, Salamat sa iyo. Kulang pa, marami pang songs na hindi pa na-release. Oo, yung isa sa mga songs na inabang ko rin yung Saksi. Kasi
ulitin namin yan
kasi yun yung isa sa mga parang literal na staple na songs na I grew up listening to. Kumbaga, ang dami niya literal yun talaga yun, sobrang daming version. Napaiba-iba na ng
parang kasi nakalate doon na nung dahil di ba from yung pinabalik sa contest, ang tawag doon yung you call that?
Basta yun yung contest
pinabalik kami, tapos monthly, quarterly, semis, hanggang finals talagang
ang dami. Sobrang exposed siya.
Parang, kaya nung finals, parang sawan-sawa na kami.
Ulit-ulit yung kanta. Pero yun talaga is mga staples, yun, abangan nyo yun. And then nandyan yung mga songs ni Pastor Sid.
Prog kasi yun di ba? May pagka-progressive, tapos meron siyang classic dahil nga cello, violin, lahat.
Tapos ano pa siya Yeah, and then literal na siya, na kasi alam ko, tutugtog na natin yun, yung mga panahon na yung Hillsong United, Hillsong is kumbaga nandun sila sa charts. So kumbaga lahat ng mga songs na lumabas during that time, except for Pastor Romel, kasi Pastor Romel kasi we know that literal na simple, literal na Filipino talaga yung tunog. Pero the rest of the musicians na nakasama natin, literal na yung tunog is Hillsong United, Hillsong lahat yung sound na nabuo. Tapos kumbaga parang I feel like parang napagaya na lang tayo dun sa idea ng saksi na sige, record natin na parang Hillsong United yung style. Tugtugin natin ng gano'n. Kaya nakakatuwa din.
Santa Rosa Days yun, yung Santa
Oh
Rosa Days.
yeah, si Pastor Francis.
Ganda.
Sa saan ba si Pastor Francis? Sa Nueva
Nueva
Ecija, ano
Ecija
ba?
na siya, oh.
Nueva Ecija, yeah. Sobrang daming memories during that time. Now, Pastor, let's talk about faith, Christianity.
Mm.
I just wanna add context. So, kasi as you all know, as you know, there was a time na umalis ako sa church. And during that time, I didn't really question God. Kumbaga, I was starting to have interest in reading books and understanding, alam mo yun, my ways of the world. Kasi we grow up with the Bible. We grew up listening to preaching and learning the Bible almost every day. We have the devotion, we have, alam mo yun, yung Sunday service and Bible studies and all that. And I understood the way of the world until right now. I'm still reading books. I'm still trying to learn my way into the world. And recently, I'm very thankful that I met my wife through it's a music school din natin. Kasi
Alam ko history nun eh.
oh yeah. she gave me back yung ano yung love ko for God. Yung identity ko as a Christian. And my question, or I just wanted to pick your brain on this. Given that right now I'm a thinker, I can say I'm a thinker. I think, and I don't understand. To be honest, I don't understand the idea of following blindly yung Christian faith. Kasi by reading books, by understanding the ways of the world, I feel like it's not correct at some point. So what's your take on that? Am I doomed for hell for not, alam mo yun, for just loving God but questioning some of his ways?
Again, think dun sa part na questioning God. How do you question ba God, no? Para bang in what way? But I think hindi naman siya magagalit dun pag meron ka lang gustong malaman, tanungin. But I think he wanted that, na parang ganun. But to question yung what he can do, that's a different thing, di ba? So, everybody has the parang talagang matinding struggles. No? Don't think na I never had struggles, no? Matindi yung naging struggles ko. It's just that I could not really say that I have a strong faith, but yung nung mga process na yon, I think I have had my shares talaga na in a way in compromising. It's just that I've been there. No? I've been there na talagang I know, 'di ba, yung path na yon. Just like music. Music has been a part has done great things sa life ko. And alam mo na yun na siya rin yung nag-alis sa akin actually kasi I really want to follow yung fame and everything. And yung other people na na-experience din pero if I will gain it, 'di ba? What shall profit a man, 'di ba? If he gains the whole world, 'di ba? Pero loses his soul. So parang sa akin, I will not go that way, no. Good thing that nandun pa rin yung ano ba yung pagkakilala ng tao sa na-acknowledge pa rin siya, no. Another thing yun na para bang still alam natin na been doing na di naman sabihin natin napakasama or para bang may way pa rin na lose ng path, no. It's not that, hindi naman ganun yun, no. Pero I think God would entertain yung mga questions na yon sa atin. But ang pinakatanong natin is what would be our motives, no? Para ano bang motibo natin, no? Kasi a lot of the, not just in the Christian industry, but in other industry, marami na rin talaga mga who are very vocal as a Christ follower, di ba? Yung talagang sumusunod sa Panginoon. Pero sometimes different naman sa nagiging actions nila, no? Kaya nga there's been ongoing debate that dapat ba nandito pa rin tayo o dapat ba nandyan ka, dapat nandito ka, no? And it's a hard question na talagang dahil kasi merong mga ibang masasaktan, matatama, minsan mga kaibigan din natin. But I think going back dun sa pinaka-question mo, depende yun sa magiging pagtatanong mo sa Lord. That's why he was called an answer, 'di ba? Kasi nga kung walang question, 'di ba paano siya magiging answer sa atin, no? And I think it's okay, but wag lang dun sa point that you are, I think, questioning God, 'di ba? Yung kino-question mo na siya. Kasi alam naman natin that all things has been doing to us is good. May mga bagay man tayo nangyari sa atin. It's because din sa nagiging situation, sa ginagawa natin, sa nagiging actions din natin. And I can really attest to that kasi yun nga yung akin. I'm professing as a Christian, but before, 'di ba, hindi naman ganoon yung ginagawa ko. At sometimes ang ginagawa ko, ano ko siya, parang pinaglalaban in a way para lang patunayan na hindi, okay pa ako. Tama yung ginagawa ko. Or I will just include para bang sa sentence ko si God, then para bang andun pa rin ako, no? But that's different thing. So, when it comes to yan, sa mga questioning about God, I think he would just entertain those questions. Pero not to the point naman na, di ba may questions tayo minsan na parang we are judging na rin someone, na parang ang question is more of judging rather than really wanted to know the truth, di ba? Kasi we all know that he's the truth and he would just uh, i-ano niya sa face natin, ito yung katotohanan, di ba? And no one will be para bang confused about that, di ba? If you're
Mm.
confused, I mean, hindi, I think you've been following someone else, 'di ba? If you're lost, 'di ba? Kasi kung siya nga yung light sa yung path, you know na you'll be in a right track, no? And
Mm.
you could still enjoy, no? But not dun sa pleasure na gusto mo na that what this world have, 'di ba? But it's more of the, yes, I can still enjoy this, I can still enjoy this music, 'di ba? Pwede naman eh. Pwede naman eh. Kasi darating naman yung point na you will be, I mean, hindi naman, it will come to a point that you will decide na, hindi, I will stop doing this kasi ito na yung talagang gusto kong gawin, no? 'Di ba? So, I think that's it, no? Parang wala sa akin namang question doon, is for the sake lang na parang may gusto gusto mong, 'di ba, question, 'di ba? Kasi naman wala namang dapat i-prove pa si Lord sa atin, eh, 'di ba? Tayo ang maraming puwedeng
Mm.
kailangang i-prove sa kanya, 'di ba?
Yeah. I remember watching this series. I think it's The Pope. Parang merong conversation yung Pope dun sa isang artist.
Mm,
And she said na, is there a way that we can upgrade the Bible? Kasi the context behind it is that, kumbaga, there's a lot of questions about like yung mga topics today, like the LGBTQI
mm,
community, and then yung mga hideous crimes na nangyayari right now. And this artist said na, sabi niya dun sa Pope na, is there a way to update the Bible?
mm,
And I like yung answer ng Pope doon, na sinabi niya na the Bible is not a phone that you can upgrade.
mm,
It's never it's never to be upgraded, but it's a guidance in the
mm,
words of the Lord. So if the word of the Lord says that this is wrong, then this is wrong, regardless of however you see it. Now, connecting that, I want to talk about Carlos Yulo. Alam mo
mm,
naman, Pastor, yung issue ni Carlos, ni Kaloy, and ang kanyang airmats.
mm,
Now, my question is, morally right, tama yung ginawa ni Kaloy. I can attest to that. Kasi it's better to protect your peace, na to just leave it all behind, cut loose, and just express what you want to say, kumbaga the truth. Pero in the Bible, it says that you need to honor your mother and father, regardless of. Again, I'm not really sure sa Bible if regardless of however hideous the crime is. Pero
Mm.
sabi doon, honor your father and your mother so that you can have a long and prosperous life.
True.
My question is, tama ba yung ginawa ni Kaloy? And for the mother or the parents, are they exempted sa wrath ni God about
Mm.
what they did?
Um, I think regarding dun sa issue yun, um, I really don't know kung ano yung pinaka what I know is that there's a bigger parang root yun why
Hmm.
nangyari. That's the part na hindi natin alam. Okay? Kahit na merong nalabas sa social media, but still, merong family lang na nakakaalam. No? I really cannot comment kasi lalo nga dahil
Yeah.
hindi ko alam yung background. Pero sa part ng bilang isang anak, especially if we're talking about the Bible, sinabi dun, yeah, it's true, to honor your father and mother para magkaroon mahang buhay. Sinabi rin naman dun sa mga parents not to provoke their sons and daughters, di ba, yung mga anak nila. So kung makita mo doon, may kanya-kanyang role na pinagagawa o naispagawa ang Panginoon sa atin doon. Ako bilang anak, ang role ko, it doesn't matter kung maganda o pangit or worst pa yung pinakita sa akin. Ang part ko lang bilang isang anak, to honor them. Kasi when I honor them, I honor the Lord, di ba? So, kung ako, if yun ako, which is, I had my shares din of experience regarding that, may mga naging struggles din kami ng parents namin, meron din kami naging problema, pero hindi pwedeng mawala sa akin, una bilang anak na still, diba? No? If ever, siguro kung kunyari ako ay magaling na gymnastic at ako si Mark Yulo, um, probably I would not say anything na sa parents ko kasi family ko yun eh. Parang family ko siya, no? Pero again, sabi ko nga hindi ako siya, no? At the same time, hindi ko alam yung pinaka-root nung kasi nang tingin ko may matinding, 'di ba? No? Kasi bakit? Pag naging okay kami, 'di ba parang siniraan ko na rin yung nanay tatay ko, 'di ba? Pangalawa, sinasabi naman nila hindi pinovoke siya, 'di ba? Parang may excuse na ako na still pa rin hindi pa rin, you know? Siguro I would explain na lang with people who parang nakakita nun, 'di ba? Kaya nga it's hard for me to comment pero kung ako as a anak bilang anak, yun lang pwede ko ma-comment. I would still do my part na bilang isang anak, ibigay pa rin yung respect, no? And when we talk about respect, may iba-ibang paraan naman din, no? And I think they were, if they'll be asked about the situation, wala silang magagawa. Siguro they have to answer. Pero siguro kung para lang i-kontra yung ganung bagay, kasi sila kasi celebrity na eh, kumbaga eh. Parang people need to hear something from them, 'di ba? Kasi hindi talaga sila patatahimikin eh. Parang gano'n eh, no? But malaking bagay yung stand ng isang tao, yung principles niya at kung saan nakabase yun. Now, kung ako, siyempre nakabase yun sa salita ng Panginoon. I will still give my respect. If I could not, kung kaya naman hindi ako magsalita, I would not, di ba? So, parang gano'n. Again, sabi ko nga kanina, yun ang tingin ko mas matinding issue na as per family na possible hindi tayo alam, no? Kaya it's hard to judge them na, dapat tama ba 'tong nanay, tama ba 'tong anak, 'di ba? So ako sa akin kung bilang anak, yun ang sa akin. I will still respect yung parents ko.
Yeah, I think honestly with social media right now kasi yung idea sa social media they're making it a bigger scene eh.
Mm.
Kumbaga may dagdag bawas na eh. Tapos pero to be honest ako rin, I think I would agree with that. Kumbaga regardless of whatever the situation is, it's never like a go signal to disrespect your parents kasi sabi nila sa Bible, do not provoke your kids. Eh, sige nga, sabi natin, mali na nga yung parents dun, pero you still need to follow your own, kumbaga, law. If you're following the Bible, na yes, the parents was able to provoke you, pero you need to adhere to the word, which is still honor your parents, regardless of how hard it is.
Mm.
So kumbaga, and at the same time, there's always like this, kumbaga parang commotion naman palagi with family. Hindi talaga siya mawawala. Sa
Mm.
lahat ng family, there's always a commotion, there's always an underlying issue. It's always about what principle are you following. And kumbaga, yun lang din yung naisip ko kasi honestly medyo as you know, medyo may relation ng onti yung ano yung issue na yun. So kumbaga parang I just want to hear it coming from you. And lastly, um if anyone na makikinig dito that has been lost and is trying to figure out their way, just like me. Kasi I'm in that crossroads where, yes, I follow the Lord. Yes, I believe in the Lord. Hindi naman siya nawala. Pero kumbaga, I have questions myself na because of how I learned the ways of the world. Ano yung pwede mo maging advice for someone like me that is still in the crossroads between surrendering everything to the Lord and following Him. Kasi yun yung pinaka-issue ko eh. It's hard for me to define trust or trusting my life to the Lord if after reading the Bible, I'm only going to decide what I want to eat and not consult the God with whatever action that I'm gonna be doing next. Kumbaga, yun yung isa sa mga kumbaga parang question ko na how can I trust in Him 100%?
Mm. When we talk about trust ng tao, madali siyang magtiwala eh. I will give you a simple situation. Sumasakay tayo sa jeep. Never mo tinanong sa jeepney driver, Manong, matagal ka ba nagdadrive? Hindi mo rin tinatanong sa kanya kung may lisensya siya. Ang matindi nun, nagbabayad ka pa sa kanya. At ang pinakamalupit nun, natutulog ka pa sa jeep. That's how you trust people. But sometimes, how is it so hard to trust the Lord? Diba? I mean, if the Bible is, meron tayong mga questions. I have some questions then. And that makes me so excited to go home sa langit. Kasi probably those are things that I have questioned. And that's the room ng faith. Yun yung faith. Now, another example, when God says the Noah is eaten by a fish. So, ikaw, bilang tao, kaisip mo, teka, fish, isda lang yun. Dapat, di ba, whale? Di ba? Whale, dapat, malaki. Pero, why is it fish? Di ba? I mean, sabi fish eh, di ba? I have to have just faith on that. Na talagang, there should always be a room for faith, no? Always remember that our minds are different sa kaisipan talaga ng Panginoon, no? Our thoughts are different from Him. But if we have those things, at minsan nalolost tayo, one good thing about our God is that you can come back, di ba? Look at the prodigal son, di ba? Ang totoo nga nun, di ang problema yung prodigal son. Ang problema pa doon, yung kapatid na isa. Dahil nandun siya, nakakala mo okay, yung pala hindi siya okay. No? Kasi ganun talaga, in a family, in a groups, even tayo bilang mga kung tayo anak ng Diyos, di ba? Meron talagang ganun mga struggles. Hindi naman mawawala yun eh. Kasi tao ka pa eh. No? But, I mean, if you're still fighting, that's good. No? And yan nga yung, doon ako nalulungkot kapag yung isang tao na, alam mo, nandung, may pagkilala sa Panginoon, may takot, pero pag nawawala na, doon ako nalulungkot kasi syempre nga, di ba? Pero yung nakikita ko na, minsan, nag-fall, di ba? You may fall 7 times, di ba? Pero, still will get up, di ba? So, yun ang gusto ko na parang makita na, di ba, nagpapatuloy kahit may mga struggles na never niya na iset aside na lang ang Panginoon sa buhay niya. So, you could always come back, yun yung sabi ko. Remember when the prodigal son went home, hindi lang naman siya sinabi ng nanay. Huwag natin isipin lagi parang katulad ng nanay at tatay natin. Ba't ngayon ka lang? Ba't ngayon? Anong ginawa mo? Ganyan, bumalik ka pa? Ganyan. Hindi. Siya, nakita mo, ang description doon, malayo pa lang, inaabangan niya talaga yung tayo. At nung nakita niya anak niya, tumakbo siya papunta sa kanya, di ba? At the same time, he was just embracing him. So, I mean, iba yung sigurong pananaw ng tao pagdating sa Panginoon. Pag kala niya, marumi na siya at makasalanan na siya. People could always come back sa Panginoon. And He will always have this open arms para sa atin. I think that's it. You could always come back. Until such time, siyempre na hindi na too late, no? Kasi, alam mo ba ang nawawala sa taong huli ay yung hearing? Kahit na comatose na yan or ano man, kasi biro mo, binibigyan pa rin ng chance ang tao makapakinig sa Lord, no? And then, you can really, meron ka bang chance mag-go back, no? Pero, what if kung wala na, especially in this world, no? So, we can always come back to Lord. At parang kung isipin mo, parang, yeah, you know Him, nabasa mo, pero you never experienced following Him. So when you experience following Him, that's the way, or that's the point na we would know na, okay, ito pala yun. Diba? Kasi direction. So just like the Bible is not just a book. No, actually, pakinggan ko lang yun, merong Genesis 0, 1. Diba? Genesis 0, 1.
Parang may Book of Enoch pa. Tapos may mga iba mga books sa Bible.
But this one, yung ano talaga lang, illustration lang. Ibig sabihin, before pa the Bible, nandun na si God. So before creation, nandun na ang Panginoon bago pa ma-create yung simula nung Genesis 1:1. So yan yung Genesis 0. So yun, I think we could always come back sa Lord, no? Di naman siya yung mag-ano siya, ikaw pala, nawala ka sa akin, di ba? Yun, there's always a second chance lagi sa Panginoon.
Yeah. Again, thank you so much, Pastor Sidney, for the opportunity. By the way, anything na gusto mong i-plug? Anything?
Yeah,
or ano bang ginagawa mo right now?
Ngayon, actually preparing for some workshops, worship seminar workshops coming. This August 20th will be in pag may air tayo or late na this, so we had our August 26 Gumaka Quezon. In November will be in Pangasinan. Also in Marinduque. And one more. Yeah, yung Marinduque. So, yung iba naman local lang dito lang sa atin. And syempre rin, yung pagbabalik ng UCAP Jam ko. Balik na. So, new things will be happening sa UCAP Jam. Preparing lang kami with lahat sa mga namin gamit. At so, yun nga, nag-issue rin pa nung dati sa Facebook's been hacked, no? So, yun, most probably this September, and also yung anniversary niya, 4th year na niya sa November. So I think there will be some concerts din na gagawin din doon. Ano ba? So yun lang siguro. And also new songs na probably out. Probably will still have 2 more songs bago matapos yung year na ito. Hopefully makasama na nga yung Saksi at ilan pa. So, meron na pa rin nakalagay na. And we'll be releasing outside din naman to, yung collab namin too. It's a full 12 cuts ng mga love songs, no? Na inayos na. Hopefully, ma-release na rin siya soon. Ayan. That's it. Yun lang.
Yun. So, please check out Pastor Sidney Herrera on his Facebook page, sa Instagram, and I believe meron din sa YouTube, and of course sa Spotify if you want to listen to his songs. And again, Pastor, maraming salamat for the opportunity. And
naka-excite lagi rin na mag-guest sa'yo.
maraming salamat. And for our listeners, maraming salamat for listening. Again, if you guys have any questions, you know where to go. You can check out my posts, you can send me an email, and I'll try to answer that as much as I can. So yun lang naman, maraming salamat guys, and maraming salamat Pastor Sid. You take care.
Thank you. God bless us all.